If you are feeling behind this year or you're trying to get to that proverbial finish line, whatever that means for you, let this episode help you understand that you don't need permission to stop, to breathe, and actually figure out what matters to you this holiday season. So let's jump right in and welcome to the What the Nell podcast. Hey guys, welcome back. I am your host, Nell, of course, and I'm trying to change it up a little bit with my intros and things, not trying to say the same thing so I sound like a broken record all the time, but yeah, great way to wait till season 4 to do that, right? Anyway, welcome back to another brand new episode of the What the Nell podcast. And today we're going to be talking about something that I feel like a lot of you are going to be able to relate to. But first of all, I want to remind you, if you are here, please, if you're on YouTube, like this video, subscribe to the channel, pass this video along to a friend. If you're listening on your favorite audio platform, go ahead and leave us a review. That would be amazing. That's how we grow here at the What the Nell podcast. And if you ever have anything that you want to hear about, I would love to hear from you. So check out the contact information in the show notes or description below and get in touch and let's have a chat. Or even if you think you'd make a great guest, there's that opportunity for you as well. So, all right, let's get started. There is a topic that I have been wanting to talk about. So also, I gather that you understand this is a solo episode today. I don't always get the opportunity to do a lot of these, and I should probably do more of them. They tend to do well, and I love to talk about topics that you guys I see on social media, I posts about and things like that. So I want to touch on some of these subjects, and I feel like I'm experiencing something right now that you probably are too. And I wanted to talk about the permission that you technically don't need to give yourself, but the permission that you need to give yourself before the end of the year. And if you're anything like me, you probably have set some goals up for yourself. Maybe you wanted to lose a certain amount of weight, or maybe you had a goal to hit in your business revenue-wise, or something along those lines, whether that be in your business or personal life. And maybe you didn't hit that goal. And I know I had a couple of goals in the business this year that I didn't hit. I didn't necessarily have a weight loss goal or anything like that, but I definitely don't feel as great this right now as I did this time last year. So, this is an episode where we're going to talk about what pressure you can let go of for yourself, and why it's okay to feel okay about that. There's this culture, and I made some notes, so please bear with me. So if you see me reading on the screen, there is pressure, especially at this time of year. So number one, you've got the holidays, right? You've probably got family, you've got gifts you need to buy, you've got dinners you need to make. And so there's already that. So we're working with that. Plus, it's the end of the year. So if you have a business and you've got some year-end stuff that you need to take care of, so you've got that extra pressure too. And there's a lot of this culture. I don't know if I would necessarily call it part of hustle culture. Maybe I would. I don't know, about finishing the year strong. And there's this pressure to ramp up numbers and ramp up stuff and things like that. And you know what? That's all well and good. And maybe that works for some people, but that doesn't work for everyone. And maybe you're one of those people. I tend to get a little more focused in the business this time of year. I get excited about the new year, and I get really focused on marketing and new offerings and new ways to reach people. And I get really excited about creating a schedule that I can be consistent with, maybe social media. I don't know. But let's talk about how it's okay to not feel any of that pressure and to, just kind of keep it going as you can, because this season requires a lot. It gets dark early. I know that affects me a lot. I typically start taking vitamin D Right around this time of year, and then I stop when I start spending more time outside, and I get my vitamin D from the good old sun. But, it's pretty much windy every single day here in central Pennsylvania, and even though the sun is out, it's not pleasant to be outside. So I've got a little bit of this like, oh, it's 5 o'clock and it's dark, and I don't really have anything else to do that I want to do outside or anything, so I may as well just sit in front of my computer and work. That's not always healthy either, but I think it actually helps in my ability to focus because I just don't want to be outside. So I may as well be growing and working on the business, right? But anyway, as a whole, we treat the end of the year like some sort of societal deadline to prove our worth from the year. Everyone's posting like the Spotify wrap-ups and, what I did this year and what I accomplished and who we saw and all of these great things. And, a lot of us, while we have those great things to share, a lot of us have some things that we didn't get to do or see or hear. And it's totally okay to acknowledge that. And it's totally okay to not have to try to do them before the end of the year. Burning yourself out by 2026 isn't going to help anybody. It's not going to help your family, you, or anyone that you work with. So let's go into a couple of expectations that you should feel good about releasing. So there are goals that we set for ourselves, and there are goals that we set out of obligation. So if you, like myself, have found myself many a times in situations where I have maybe said like, yeah, I'd love to learn more, or I would love to help any way I can, you kind of sign up for something that you didn't really think you were signing up for. Let's get rid of those obligational goals, okay? There is nothing wrong with saying, you know what? I am exhausted. I have a lot on my plate right now. I need to focus on the things that are generating or moving the needle in the direction that I want to go in. It is okay to say no. So if you have even found yourself in a place where, you realize I did commit to something and I can no longer commit to it, you need to take ownership and accountability and go and say, I screwed up. I didn't realize, I was going to have this unfree time at this point of the year, or I didn't realize I was going to be in the space that I'm in. And, you don't even have to explain yourself, but it's okay to let go of those obligational goals. Just know that. And that will relieve some of the pressure for sure. It's also okay to let go of projects that maybe don't feel aligned to you anymore. Maybe this is a good time of year to take inventory of what you did experience or didn't, and what do you absolutely love to work on? What are you passionate about? Have you signed up for something, signed on to a project that you are obsessed with and you want to do so much with? That's great. You should focus on that. Are there projects that you signed up for that you're not really feeling the energy for anymore, like you can actually provide value or the best of yourself to anymore? It's time to let those go. And that's okay too. I mean, even just saying it out loud actually makes me feel better. So I don't know, say it with me. I will let go of the projects that don't feel aligned anymore. Say it out loud and feel the relief. It's actually kind of palpable, you guys. I don't know. Just try it. Just humor me, okay? So, as time goes on, there may be plans that you made, I don't know, in like April, July. Well, as I'm recording this, and actually the release date on this is the end of November. It's the 25th. So, maybe those plans that you made back then don't make any sense anymore. Did you think about it? And do you look back and you think, you know what? I don't think this kind of works with where I'm headed or the things that I want to do. It's okay to acknowledge that too. And it's really okay to let that go. Again, I'm sharing this podcast the day after my 41st birthday. And as I'm getting older, I know, wisdom comes with age, of course, but I am finding it a lot easier to step back and think about the things that I thought I was interested in and being okay with saying, no, I'm sorry, I no longer have interest in doing this. That's okay. It just is what it is. It's nothing personal. You have other interests in your life that you need to focus on at that moment. I mean, thank you, Taylor Swift, for giving us, or not giving us, but uh, modernizing the term era. Maybe you're in your era that you didn't expect to be in when you made those plans in July. That's okay. It is all totally okay. So, maybe there's something that's going on right now that a solution that you're trying to come to, and you're trying to fix it. For God's sakes, there's no reason to put a deadline of December 31st on it. Like, why? Why do you need to? So don't look at the calendar as a reason to find the actual defining factor in why you find a solution. I don't know if that makes any sense. Find a solution in the time frame that it works to find a good solution. Stop putting December 31st on that and calling it a day. The calendar date shouldn't have any influence on how you find that solution unless you are being put under a deadline by a client or you have committed to submitting something by some date and you're going to be, out on the street if you don't. But stop using the calendar as deadlines for things like that. It's only going to harm. It's not going to do any good for you, honestly. So I don't know if you guys believe in affirmations, meditations, manifestations, things like that. I really, truly only believe in manifestation if you put action behind it. I don't necessarily believe that you can just say words out loud and things will happen. I do think it helps, but I do think you have to include some action to those manifestations. So there are some things that I want you to say out loud, but I want you to also act on them too. So make this podcast your encouragement, your accountability to go and act on these things. Okay. So the first one is I give myself permission to slow down. I give myself permission to slow down. This could be a hard one for you. It's okay to sit in silence for a moment. It's okay to take a second and think. It's okay to say, I will get back to you. It's okay to slow down. Truly. We live in such a fast-paced world. It's a little scary at times, but it can be done. Next, I give myself permission to not finish everything. Again, December 31st is not the be-all end-all. There are still days left after that. You don't have to finish everything. I give myself permission to change my mind. Like I said, the plans that you made in April may not be what align or fit into your current era now in November or December, whenever you're listening to this. I give myself permission to stop chasing goals that no longer feel true. If you are someone that likes to start a vision board every January for the year ahead and set those goals out and put those things up there and do that thing, and if you think that none of that can be fluid, then my friend, we have another conversation we need to have, because all of those things can change. Those goals that you had in January simply may not be the same in December. We grow as humans, things evolve. And that's not limited to a calendar year or a day, a week, a month. There is no timeline on any of that. I give myself permission to rest without guilt. This is a huge one. You guys, I had a long Saturday. Sunday morning, I was like, I'm going to sit on the couch and watch a show. Maybe on a Monday or Tuesday night, we have like a couple of shows that my husband and I watch, but not a lot. And we do watch a lot of YouTube, but YouTube is also part of our business. So it's kind of like research and development. So we don't watch a lot of TV, I gotta be honest, and we don't watch movies, honestly. We have a lot of things that we do, and that takes up a lot of time. So resting without guilt is something that I am definitely still working on, but it's okay. It's actually necessary to do that. Go lay down for 10 minutes during the day and take a nap if you can. Go do that at night. It's fine. No, you don't have to say anything to anyone. You just need to do it. When you're tired, rest. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I give myself permission to be proud of myself right now, not later. Right now, not later. If you're listening to this, if you're still listening to this, you should be proud that you've made it this far into the episode. Thank you, because most people don't. And you have accomplished a lot. You have helped a lot of people. I'm sure you've done a lot of things that you really can be proud of. And I want you to acknowledge that. Trust me, if you're like, oh, this is really hard for me, I get that, because this is probably the thing that I'm the worst at. But you should be proud. Like I said, you've done so much and contributing to society in positive ways. Not a lot of people can say that. And I think you really should just take a little bit of time to be like, you know what? Go me. I did this. That's pretty cool. And you can choose to be public about it or not. That's totally up to you. Okay, so let's figure out what actually matters in this season. Let's talk about protecting your energy and not your checklists. Checklists will always be there. Like I said, shouldn't be calendar date specific. Protecting your energy is most important. If you're anything like me, you're probably out and about and mingling, holiday parties, friends and family, all the things. As I learned this past weekend, I had to be on for a good chunk of Saturday. Like, I had to be alert and focused and in front of people and talking and all of those things. That takes up a lot of energy, which is probably why I was a little tired on Sunday. People don't realize how much energy that sucks out of you. And especially if you're around people that you don't get around a lot or that you don't always enjoy being around, that's taking even more energy. So work on protecting that and your peace. And the checklist, I'm telling you, will always be there. Don't worry, you will get to those things. Let's also talk about how alignment matters, not urgency. I understand that people do set deadlines for things, of course. Obviously, I'm very well aware and have daily deadlines in our business. But, if there's something that is not feeling like it aligns with you, like we talked about earlier, we got to get that off your plate. And that little bit of urgency that you can remove from your life will help protect your energy this season as well. It's what also matters this season is feeling good about what you're doing. I just listened to a podcast a little while ago, and we've been doing this for years in our family. We just sat down and had a conversation with some family members, and we were like, okay, we're exchanging gifts this season for what reason? Like, you're giving me a gift card, you're giving me cash, I'm giving you a gift card for the equal amount of value. Like, what are we doing here? Why can't we just go out for dinner and call it a day? That exchange just to me seems so pointless when we could actually be spending time together and getting more out of that than exchanging silly gifts. I mean, to me on all levels, like if you did a pros and cons list, there would be so many more cons to the gift giving aspect than the pros. So, I don't feel good about participating in that. So we said, hey, we're not doing that anymore. And that has been a lifesaver. Let me tell you, it makes me smile. I can just smile thinking about how I am not going to feel the pressure this year of buying gifts for everyone I know. And I can focus on doing other things. I can focus more on the business. I can focus more on spending time with people. That to me just feels really good. And you also deserve to feel really good. So, what else matters this season? Making space for clarity instead of forcing answers. So when we talked about finding solutions and putting a calendar date of December 31st on that, no, we're not doing that anymore. We're not forcing a solution by a particular date just so we can say we did it by the end of the year. What do you get out of that? Honestly, truly think about it. What do you get out of that? Creating some space for clarity, taking your time to answer a question, getting back to someone, actually taking your time to do the research, actual problem solving, not just trying to do it quickly and having to fix it later just so you can make a particular date. Create the space for clarity, sit down, understand what it is that you're doing, and work towards a solution with no barriers. And trust me, the outcome will be so much more positive. Let's talk about routines and not draining yourself. This is a topic for this time of year I think is really important because with so much going on, I feel like so many of us get out of our daily routines that make us feel like we're, focused and involved and still getting things done. I find it really, really important to make sure even more so that I'm doing my daily routine now than any other time during the year because it's so easy to fall off the wagon. Like if you go to a holiday party on a Sunday night and you have a little too much to drink, maybe on Monday morning, you're inclined to sleep in a little longer or just get up and do what you have, the bare minimum to get ready for work or something like that. Or you come home and you lay on the couch instead of make dinner and you order something instead. It's so important to stick to those daily routines this time of year so you don't fall off track with your goals. And I'm not saying that, I'm just saying for the matter of consistency and the goals that you actually want to hit, it's important to try to stay in touch with that routine as much as possible. And yes, it's okay to, on a Thursday night, go out to dinner with a friend, have a glass of wine if you want to. But when you're doing those and if you are participating in those activities, just make sure that next day you've set yourself up. You're like, I'm getting back into it, my routine. Maybe I won't have a drink the next day so I can, really focus and hone in and get stuff done so I can go out and have fun the next day. That's okay too. So just remember your routine and don't completely abandon it. All right. So let's talk about, before we wrap this up, let's talk about a exercise to help you start giving yourself permission today. Okay. So first, I want you to write down everything that you have to finish before the year ends, like deadline specific from a client or somebody you're working with, things that have to get done. Maybe you have to get insurance, that's important because then, the opportunity goes out the window. So make sure you have that list that is of things that are imperative, must be done by the end of the year. Number 2, go through that list and circle the ones that really matter. Like drop dead, must be done. If I don't get these done by the end of the year, I won't have the opportunity to get these done anymore. So prioritize the ones from the priority list even. I swear, you can do it. It's possible. Number 3, cross out the ones you're only doing out of pressure or guilt. Like we talked about, if you're committed to something that no longer aligns or is not moving the needle forward in the direction you are wanting to go, cross it out. You've got to say something and figure out a way. Or maybe if you do truly want to do it, but it can't be a priority right now, have a talk. See if you can come to a solution about another time frame that works best. But you've got to cross those out right now. We are focusing here, okay? Number 4, feel the release of the pressure after you do this. It's kind of scary and it almost like my palms are sweating a little bit while I'm talking about it. But if you can do this exercise, you by now should be feeling a little bit of a sigh of relief. So that's good. Honor that. And number 5, choose one tiny step that you can do today to start getting the things done that you have to by the end of the year. Your list is probably a little bit smaller now. That sigh of relief has come, and hopefully that opens up some clarity for you to figure out what one step could be done today to help you hit those goals by the end of the year. So, all right. Hopefully by now you're feeling a little bit better about giving yourself permission to, I don't want to say coast the end of the year, but not subscribe to the hustle culture of having to have these big goals done or, every project finished and all of those things. I really hope that you were able to find a little bit of relief, and hopefully this episode was able to give you, help you give yourself some permission. So talk to your friends about it. Maybe share this episode with them and they can also do this with you. Maybe it could be like a challenge that you do for the end of the year. That sounds kind of fun, honestly. Pass it around and let me know your results and how you feel after you start doing this yourself. So I want to thank you for being here so much. And like I said at the beginning of the video or episode, if you're listening on your favorite audio platform, please leave us a review. If you are watching the video on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, like this video. Like I said, share it with a friend. And remember, you don't need to earn rest. You don't need to earn joy, and you certainly don't need to prove yourself before the calendar changes over to January 1. You are allowed to end this year on your terms. So remember that, and thank you again for being here, and as always, I will catch you on the next one.